Welcome to the 3 Degrees of Freedom podcast, where we explore lifestyle engineering with our expert guests to bring you in alignment with your own 3 degrees of freedom, location, time, and financial independence. All right, so today we have Mr. Flint Jamison on the Zoom call. Flint, how are you?
I'm doing good. It's been a long time coming. We've known each other for a while virtually. Now we get to talk.
This is the wonders of the internet and high-speed modems and all that good stuff, right? I just love it.
Yeah.
For those who don't know Flint, before I give you his bio, Flint and I actually met on a networking challenge online by the great Yona Weiss. So Yona, out there, hats off to you. I've met so many people because of you. And Flint is one of these amazing people that I've met through the challenge. So if you guys don't know him, please do go follow him. He's amazing. Got great content on LinkedIn. Anyway, Flint, if you guys don't know him, he spent 20 years in aerospace as an engineer and as a program manager. And the most recognizable part of his career is designing the wing structure on the Boeing 787, which is an amazing accomplishment. He finished out his career managing a $120 million program, modifying aircraft for the military. And as a former engineering leader who has endured a great deal of burnout, which I can relate to as well, Flint started building new financial future for his family by purchasing cash flowing real estate back in 2018. An amazing time to be buying real estate.
Yes.
After his first duplex, he quickly pivoted to commercial real estate, where he found the most efficient path to financial freedom. So first thing I got to ask you, just out of curiosity, before any questions I have planned here, how did you come up with the idea to go so quickly from just going from a duplex to commercial real estate? It took me years to recognize this, and I built a portfolio of like 20 houses or something before I'm like, wait a minute, this is not right. So
Yeah.
why don't you expand a little bit on that?
The BRRRR, buy, rehab, rent, refinance, repeat. I did that on a duplex, on a heavily distressed duplex in Milwaukee. I was remote. I live in Denver. I had all the people in place to do it. It took twice as long. I was on hard money loan, by the way, that $80,000. I didn't have that cash available, so I had to do a hard money loan, 12% interest. Anyway, yeah, they were supposed to be done in 3 months. Took them 6 months and cost 30% more than what they planned. So that was painful. And then got tenants in place in time. Were free to go, and I did the refi, but I did not get cash out. So it was not a fully successful BRRRR.
I see.
So I didn't get to turn around and buy something else. I was like, I guess I have to restart over again, build up some more money to do another down payment. But after all that, I realized the $300 per door, like $600 a month, which just saying that sounds good. $600 per month. That buys more than groceries. That pays bills.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, what if I want to retire on this passive cash flow? How many more of these do I need to do? Mm-hmm. And I calculated out. So $300 per month is actually above average. What I heard from Bigger Pockets, $200 per month is the average for a given single family home rental. Do the math on that to make 6 figures, $100,000. I needed to do 50 more units. That's when it hit me right in the face. Said, it's going to take me 10 years to get there. And then I just listened to more Bigger Pockets podcasts. And one of the syndication gurus came on and talked all about syndication, talked about the most efficient path to financial freedom, scale, partnerships, all that. And so multifamily. And so that I immediately pivoted.
There we go. I love it. I love also in that story that you decided not to give up and just be like, oh my gosh, this thing didn't work. I'll just hold on to this thing. And then I guess I'll try again in a year or two, or maybe. I love that you leaned into it and you went after it. You decided maybe I need to learn some new skills and try to figure something else out, because clearly, like, you loved the mechanics of real estate, like the way that it worked, just that mechanism or that vehicle wasn't quite working for you. Yeah. Okay. So let's talk right now. Obviously, we love to talk about the 3 degrees of freedom, which is location, time, and financial. We like to talk to people about how they're come in layers and you can pursue them in different areas and ways. Can you give us a breakdown right now of where you think you are in each of these location, time, and financial freedom buckets?
So I am partial financial freedom, I should say. My wife still has her job, and I don't know that she will ever quit what she's doing. That's natural for all of us, right? We jump away from corporate world, the rat race, so we can do our own thing, and then we go create value elsewhere and still do things. But yeah, we're half though. I wouldn't say we can fully sustain ourselves on my income at the moment, but I got to a threshold where I couldn't work nights and weekends for another year. I was doing 2.5, 3 years of nights and weekends with the corporate job plus real estate. And I felt like it was unsustainable and the growth was getting really hard because I needed to dedicate more time. So that's when I said, all right, exit stage left. Wife still has a stable income. I've got some stuff coming in, and it's a hockey stick thing, right? You're riding along forever, and eventually you start that upward path, and that's where I feel like I'm at the cusp of that.
Awesome. Yeah, so that's great. So that's your financial. What about your
Financial.
time and your location?
Yeah, so time freedom. People are asking me, "Hey, Flint, you quit your day job. How's it going?" I'm like, I got so much more sleep now.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm not doing the two. I'm not doing the day job plus the side gig. And to be honest, we're gonna go skiing for 3 days in a week or so, and I'm just not. It just doesn't matter. I have no more day job obligations,
Yeah.
which it's amazing. To be honest, location freedom. Since my wife works remote, we are technically fully location free, but we haven't moved. Um, it's
Is,
just we're so close to grandparents and the schools a block away. We don't like necessarily living where we're living, but we're like, it is way too convenient.
I totally get that. I think that part of the location freedom is the ability for you to be able to say, you know what, we're going to go, and the time freedom, right? Is you're going to be able to take your kids and say, you know what, you talk to your wife, you're like, hey, I'm going to take the kids. We're going to go to Hawaii for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And that would be no interruption to your life, granted that your kids are on vacation or break, or you've got some
Yeah.
sort of arrangement there. And that's the whole thing, is that you have the ability to choose in all of these layers. So I think it's a beautiful thing what you've created. Now,
Yeah.
let's back up a little bit. Now that we know where you are in the 3 degrees of freedom, let us talk about why you started pursuing these. There's always an impetus, right? There's people start thinking about it in a certain way. They're at work. You mentioned burnout. That was something that
Yeah. Yeah.
was that your primary driver to get yourself like, I got to figure something out here to give myself more choices. And did you think about it in the 3 degrees of freedom at all? Or were you just, I just need to get out of this job? Or,
It's changed over time from when I
yeah.
originally, like, I got into real estate because I was originally, prior to my real estate side, I was trying to figure out how to invest smarter. And I initially went to, can I be better at the stock market? Because man, I really suck at that.
Yeah.
So I listened to 3 weeks of podcasts of some dude spouting stuff. And I was like, you know what, this sucks. Let's look at real estate. Because there's always that thing in the back of my mind where someone's like, yeah, my uncle, all he does is just own real estate and he just doesn't work a day in his life. It's not quite that bad, but those are the stories you hear. Just owns a real estate empire. And I was like, okay, let's look into that. So it started very little. And once I got into it, I'm like, wow, you know what? If I really dedicate myself, that's what I want is time freedom. I've got a 4 and a 6-year-old. You got, they say you have 18 summers with your kids before they leave the
Yeah.
house.
Mm-hmm.
And that 18 summers goes super fast. And a summer is really short. Wow, I need to expedite this. And then, yeah, and real estate seemed to be the best vehicle. So then, yeah, so the financial freedom to gain the time freedom. And then I'm like, oh, wow, there's also location freedom. That's awesome.
Very cool. I love it, man. I think as you evolved, I think maybe it came from a point of view of I gotta figure something out, to then like you slowly open up the door and you start seeing these possibilities. And I think it evolves with you as your mindset grows and as you become a bigger person. So I could definitely see that happening with almost everyone that we talk to. It's very much an evolutionary thing. So I totally get
Oh,
it.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
let's talk about your family. Your family obviously is involved in your decisions to help you get more out there,
Yes.
whether it's location, time, or financial types of freedom and choices. How would you say that your family's responded? And if I were to ask you like how your relationship with your kids have changed or with your spouse has changed because of this journey, what would you say to that in your pursuit of these 3 degrees?
Um, I think for one, my wife is supportive because I was working nights and weekends for 2.5 years.
Yeah.
She would take the kids and keep them busy when I had to do things. But aside from that, what I did not expect in our world, in the syndicators world, mindset is a huge thing, right? We get all in all these coaching programs and mindset and goal setting and focusing on what matters more than just the money. I have changed as a person because I used to be more of a pessimistic type of person. And my mindset has changed. My relationship with my wife has changed. My wife says I'm a new person, or a newer person, I should say.
Mhm.
But yeah, and none of us get into this thinking that there's this going to be this life-changing mental reset that we go through.
It's like the way I think about this for what came to my mind when you were talking is if you if someone becomes instantly rich, you've given them all these choices to make, right? And it allows them to become more of who they are on the true inside
Yeah.
because you have more choices, right? You don't have to sacrifice things in order to do what needs to be done in order to survive, right? For you and your family. And I wanted to ask as a follow-up question, do you feel like your family is seeing you more for who you truly are because of this adventure, because of this like newfound mindset? Have you become more authentic with your real self? And I just want to talk about like how your family's reflected on your mindset also.
That's interesting. I don't know, other than being a more positive person now that I'm out of my day job, I have more energy
Yeah.
and more time. I think that's really the biggest thing. I don't know that. Yeah. So back to the day job thing, why I really wanted to get out, it is the rat race. It's burnout, fighting really hard to get a 3% raise. And then maybe you'll get a promotion of 6 to 7% at some point, right?
Yeah.
It's just, it's a grind, and that wears on you, and it can wear on your family because you come home and you're carrying that weight on your shoulders and you're not necessarily present. Someone said a really great example. They were there at Thanksgiving or Christmas with their family, and it was like they were omnipresent. As they could have just been watching their family on TV because their mind was so involved with so much stuff and stress that it was like life was happening and they weren't actually present, even though they're sitting in
Yeah,
the room.
that's right. Yeah. I think that's very fair statement to say. I think that when you're working a full-time job, you are building someone else's future or a
Yes.
different person's future. Whereas when you're working on yourself and your own business, you have a pace that you can set on your own. And as long as you're okay with it lasting a little bit or taking a little bit longer, there's no reason for you to go 1000% balls to the wall, so to speak, unless you absolutely want to. That's your choice. You're given that dignity of choice because you have the time freedom to be able to do that. And so that gives a lot of security. And I think that's been reflected in the way you interact with your family. And
Yeah.
my thought is that you and your family are now getting along a much easier and much happier and a much better
Yeah.
harmonious way because of this change that you've made.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's great to hear. So let me ask you then, if there are people that are looking to follow along your path, do you recommend that people start working on small duplexes and trying to do some burrs and then go straight into commercial? Or like, how
Yeah.
do you recommend they approach business?
There's I always smile when I hear someone say, "Oh yeah, I'm looking to buy my first single family home," and then I was like, "Yeah." Then there's a progression. Then you get into flipping, then wholesaling,
Let me tell you
duplexes,
how this is.
quadplexes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
let me tell you how this is going to unfold. But then,
yeah.
like, yeah,
All roads lead to syndication, and to be honest, there's 20-year-olds that just start in syndication. So let me just show you the light. Yeah, there's no reason to go there if you don't want to. Now, if yeah, from an active side, if you want to be active and control and you're a GP, absolutely get in on it. But I think a lot of people buy a single family home thinking it's just going to be this nice, we'll set it up, we'll buy it, and it'll be running in the background. But we all say on social media, it is not a passive endeavor buying single family homes.
I completely agree. And for those who are out there listening to this podcast and maybe they're not in the real estate field, or they're maybe looking to invest somewhere and they are attracted to real estate because it's amazing, right? It's a tax benefit. It cash flows for you if you buy correctly, and then it appreciates and you get all of these really cool benefits. You can live in it. Like, it's tangible, right? Like, it's a real asset that's an inflation hedge. All these really great things that would entice people to want to do this. I agree with you. If you want to be someone who is going to build a career out of being an active, like, real estate investor as a job or as a business, like what we do, then I think it is 100% worthwhile to go in and do a single family home, to get the vocabulary, to learn how the property managers communicate with you, how all that happens. But truth be told, Flint, if $2 million just showed up in my bank account today, I would be basically a professional limited partner.
Oh yeah.
That would be the way to go for me. And maybe you could explain how that works for the people out there.
So I tell everyone that's the holy grail, is being 100% passive. And I, probably like you, Derek, I am working as an active real estate professional on the general partnership side, but I also invest on passively in other people's deals.
Yep.
With my self-directed IRA, solo 401k, and there's all sorts of ways. But the goal is to grow my snowball big enough to the point where I just start being 100% passive, because that gives me 100% time freedom.
Yeah.
So it's all about, the most efficient path to financial freedom is.
It's amazing. And like, I completely agree with you. It's the easiest way to do it. And you can still learn a lot, because as a limited partner, you can go into it as deep as you want to.
Yes.
Ask as many questions. You get to know lots of people. It's really fun to be able to do that. It's like you're shopping, but in a way, you're also building relationships. I don't want to say that you're shopping for relationships. That's not right. But you are, in essence, like, you're trying to find the best return and the best team that works with you, in a nice way, so that it's a great experience and you enjoy doing what you do. And in the end, it's amazing, because you get all of this mailbox money sent to you and have all this incredible equity growth, and other people are doing the hard work for you. And so it's really scalable, easy way to get into it if you have plenty of cash.
Yes.
Yeah. So I love that. All right, let's talk about this. What do you think was, for you, the key to evolving and eventually, like, growing to become this bigger person? What was that one change at your job that inspired you to be like, I've got to make a different decision to take things into my own hands?
I just knew that climbing the corporate ladder wasn't for me anymore, because as a program manager, you got all this weight on your shoulders, you're carrying everything. You are the point person that if anything goes wrong, it's your fault no matter what. Even if it's totally not, even if you weren't even involved in the mistake, it's still your fault, because you're the figurehead. And I was like, gosh, and then you go to be a director, and then you got even more responsibility. I just see the people above me. I was working a lot of hours. They're working more hours, and the VP, he doesn't sleep. So I'm like, what am I going for in life? That's not what life is about. Chasing more responsibility and more money to what end?
Yeah. And who are you serving? Like, you can say that you're serving the people that are underneath you, but ultimately it's the company.
Yes.
And their vision. And what I love about, like, this whole leadership thing too, is that not to say that this is bad, but when things go wrong, it's your fault. And when things go well, that's the team's effort, right?
Yeah.
And so you've got to be that person. You have to be that type of person in order to go up the ranks, right?
Yeah.
I think that also works well in real estate, being that person with that type of mentality, but I can totally see how that weighs on you. And then what you're giving up to have that. You're in the corporate lifestyle and you're giving all of this time and energy away, and then the company gets to decide what your fair compensation is, not the marketplace, which is that goes against what I stand for.
Yeah. And you're trading your time for money, versus when you finally have enough money to make your money work for you, you stop needing to trade time for money.
Yeah, 100%. All right. So last question I have for you today, that's a personalized question for you here, is I know that you're into the build to rent space now a little bit more. And this is a relatively new type of topic. And so for those people who do know about real estate, or maybe even for those who don't, can you give us a little bit of like a 30-cent tour about how this build to rent space works and what it is?
Yeah, yeah. I love talking about this, by the way. There is an opportunity these days where everyone knows that the housing prices are so high, and people trying to jump, primarily millennials, jump from an apartment into a house, they can't necessarily afford it. But right now is the peak family building years for all millennials, or for the average millennial. And they don't want to be in an apartment with kids. So we've come up with this, or the industry has come up with this thing called build to rent, where we build a community of homes, single family homes. They're starter home size, like 1,200 to 1,800 square feet. And you got a little front yard, a little backyard. You got your own four walls, no one living around you, or like above or below. And it's operated like a commercial property, like an apartment building. You have on-site maintenance, on-site property management. You have all the amenities, pool, dog park, but everyone gets their own single family home. So it's this really great compromise for residents. And then because it's in so much demand, institutions want to buy these things up. Like hundreds of billions of dollars of institutional money is targeted to buy built to rent properties, but they don't build. So that's where we enter. A syndication group partners with a builder, a housing builder, and we form this really great business doing built to rent communities.
Have you seen what a build to rent community looks like? Have you gone to one and seen what the experience looks like, or have you heard from your tenants or residents how much they enjoy this space? Like, how is it going?
Yeah, we're getting started. I'm new into this partnership, and this partnership is relatively new. The house builder is not new. He's been building luxury homes forever. So we have 3 properties in process and development phase. I have seen build to rent communities, and I've seen all the data. Residents typically stay something like on average 42 months. They treat it like their house, versus apartment buildings where they stay 18 months. So you get clientele that are willing to live there for a long time. You also have a demographic that are empty nesters that just want to get out of the maintenance of their old home and move closer to their grandchildren, and also have that lock and leave capability because you have property management and maintenance there. So they can just
I love it. That's
leave.
Very smart. Yeah, I haven't thought about that. It's medium term. It's like Airbnbs, but no, I shouldn't say it's like Airbnbs, but it's like these midterm rentals or long-term rentals for people to live for a specific purpose for a year or 2 or 3. And then when they're ready, they can move on to a different place, but they have had a yard and a nice place to expand and relax and enjoy the city that they're in.
Yeah.
Let me ask you too, this is just a follow-up question, because it sounds like to maybe someone who isn't familiar with the space, they're saying, oh, you said before that we should go away from single family homes and into commercial property, multifamily, or
Yeah.
self-storage. Isn't this going back to single family? And I know it's not, but I want you to explain.
Yeah. So yes, it's a clarification, and thank you for pointing that out. We operate these as, yes, we build a whole bunch of single family starter home sized homes, and it is actually managed as a commercial asset. So we're building 160 homes, and it will sell as one asset to the seller. So think of it as it's like an apartment building, but everybody has their
With
own
lawns.
house
Yeah, with
and
lawns and
lawns
stuff.
and
Yeah,
lawns
exactly.
and yeah. But the cool thing on this though is if for whatever reason the economy shifts and all of a sudden demands shift, we have more exit strategies than your apartment building. Or apartment building, you have to sell it as an apartment building. For us, we have 160 single family homes. We could parcel a bunch off to just say, hey, here for investors, you can say buy as many as you want. You want to buy 5? Okay, you can have 5 or you can buy 1. Or I think the last situation is we just partner with a broker and sell them off to home buyers.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love it, man. That's really smart. You can sell them in swaths, right? Or you can
Yep.
refinance some, or you can keep some and rent them out. Or heck, even if you wanted to, I bet you could take the investor pool and say maybe one investor has 10% and he's, you know what, I want to keep mine.
Yeah.
I'm sure that there's a way you could figure out, okay, as long as we agree on the exit price that makes sense for the syndication, you can just take them. That's pretty
There is
cool. I love
definitely a
that.
way to divest if that's what it comes down to.
That's really cool. I love this. I think I'm going to learn want to learn a little bit more about this because I think it's a great thing to combine with funds and all kinds of fancy stuff. I want to talk with you a little bit more about that. Anyway, unfortunately, though, I've run out of time here for this part of the show. We have one last part, which is our rapid round. And it's the same 6 questions that we ask every one of our guests. And they're meant to be answered in a 30-second or less answer if you can.
Okay.
So if you're ready, we're going to just rapidly ask them to you. Okay.
All right.
All right. Question number 1. Name any resource that was or is essential in your journey to pursue freedom.
To be honest, I'll say podcasts because that's what got me started.
Yeah, I will be honest, that is the most popular response, but could you be more specific? Could you provide a name of a podcast or something that's unique? Everyone knows about Bigger Pockets.
Yeah. So Michael Blanc's podcast was the first thing that I discovered. But then from there, best ever, you can name off the big ones. But my good friend Julie Hawley, she has a great one, The Conscious Investor. She's now actually, for the limited partners out there, you just want to be passive investor. Julie Hawley's Conscious Investor. She really tailors to the passive investors.
Very cool. Awesome. I recommend that because passive investor is where to go, just like we were talking about before.
Yeah.
All right. Number 2, if you woke up and your business was gone and you had $500, a laptop, a place to live, and some food, what do you think you would do first to rebuild?
I would go invest in something with somebody else's money.
There we go.
Seller financing.
Seller financing. I love it. That's great.
Into a commercial property.
That's so awesome. Okay, very cool. Number 3, what does your self-reflection and goal setting practice look like, if any?
It's not very good, to be honest. Even though we go through all these, I hack it and I need to get better. That is a habit I need to get better at.
What would you do if you could ideally design it right now?
I think right now I need to put up a vision board so it's in front of me all the time. That's on my list of things to do for the last 2 months.
There we go.
But yeah, it would be, I think, because a vision board drives you to your goals and it's constantly in your face all the time.
Yeah. And then that power of suggestion and the visualization, it really does bring your subconscious to help you make decisions that you don't even know you're making on a micro basis every day that steers you in that direction over time. It's ridiculous. I don't know how it works, but it absolutely does. So I think that is a great tip for people out there. All right. Number 4, what are the core work habits that you attribute most to your success today?
Pure grit, to be honest. That's because we get knocked down. I mean, we didn't even talk about it. I lost $30,000 in my first syndication. So man, I got knocked down and I turned around and got back up and kept going. It's pure. Don't let failure get in your way. Failure teaches you your lesson. You don't have to repeat it.
It's a tax, right? It's not really a tax because a tax you have to keep paying year after year, but
right.
This is more like
It's a toll.
you're paying the toll and you're getting the lesson. So I love that. Yeah, that's awesome. Number 5, what books do you recommend to people to help them jumpstart their own success?
Oh man. I think The Go Giver is a really good book. That's more mindset. It's all about giving to others, and then it'll come back to you twofold, tenfold, whatever it is. And it's not focusing on money. It's focusing on bringing value to people in your life.
Yep.
And that's what will create success.
Love it, man. Never can go wrong with being more generous with your energy and your time. I think that it does find a way back to you 100%.
Yeah.
Okay. Last question I got for you is, what tool or process has become one of your most important time, money, or energy saving ninja magic tricks that you use every single day?
Tool. I got a lot of tools. I haven't found a way to fully, to be on Active Campaign from a database standpoint, my website, all of that funnel, that has saved me. But now I need to take it to another level, because I can spend too much time with the system that could be automated further.
Yeah, building it, right, and tinkering with it. But then there's another layer of, how do you nurture your investors and your partners, or potential investors and partners, beyond what you can do with email and text messaging? And then there's social media, and I get it, man. I'm totally with you on this. I completely understand that. Very cool. Hey, Flint, this was awesome having you on the show. And thank you for being open and transparent about your degrees of freedom and how you guys live and all of this great stuff.
Yeah, I loved it.
If people want to talk or find out more about you, how can they do that? Where's the easiest way they can?
I think that there's two. If you just want to interact with me, LinkedIn is great. You can follow me, LinkedIn/Flint Jamison. If you want to find out more about Vestas Capital, my company, go to investwithflint.com and I'll take you right to Vestas Capital.
That's awesome. And if you guys are interested in some build to rent opportunities, or just want to learn more about it, definitely reach out to Flint, because him and I now share another common interest, which is this build to rent stuff, which is pretty interesting. And I may end up following him just for that as well. So really appreciate you, Flint, coming on the show. This was awesome.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's been fun.
Of course. Yeah. And for you listeners out there who have listened all the way to the end, I want to thank you guys so much, as usual. So if you get a chance, wherever you're watching or listening to this podcast, please like, subscribe, comment, or just interact with us in general, because as that will appease the algorithm gods, and we'll get more and more views and more likes from people just like you, so that we can pass along to other people Flint's message, and then even attract other people and high-powered guests just like Flint to come on the show and spread their knowledge to you as well. So again, Flint, thank you so much for coming on. This was awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Take care, everyone. Have a great week. We'll see you next time.